so I can see the comments on Instagram. I can see the comments on YouTube, and I should now be able to see the comments on TikTok. Perfect. All right, and we are live. All right, it is about, what time is it? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's about 4 p.m. on the West Coast. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about people poo-pooing on your deals, right? So what do you do when you are a real estate investor who uses wholesaling? And I think I need to move a little bit more to the right, just looking at the camera. What do you do when you are a real estate investor that uses wholesaling as an exit strategy? And you've got all these investors, all these end buyers, all these colleagues, all these other people that are telling you that your deal sucks, your deal is poop, your deal is poo-poo, right? When people are poo-pooing on your deal. Now, I could use profanity, but I'd rather not. I think you got the point. I think you understand where I'm going with this. People poo-pooing on your deal. Now, here's the thing. You guys know that I like my slides and that I like using AI to help me create my slides, and I'm a big fan of Gemini. I know ChatGPT 5 just came out, and there's some people that are using it. I use Gemini Pro, and what I used was a prompt, right? The better your prompts are when you're using artificial intelligence, when you're using AI, the better the results that you are going to get. So this did not happen with just one prompt, okay? What I had to do was I had to prompt Gemini to give me an image of a dragon mascot wearing a janitor's outfit with the red and white patch on the left side of its chest that says Dispo on it, in a high school bathroom with bathroom stalls all closed except for one. One is open where you can see the toilet with chocolate syrup sprayed all over the place, on the floor, on the walls, and on the Dragon's uniform. And so what you're seeing here is the final product. What we have is our Dispo the Dragon as a janitor in a high school bathroom, and what is happening is that our dragon is cleaning up the mess. Now, you and I know that my prompt said chocolate syrup because I just shared that with you, but the idea here is the poop. People poo-pooing on your deal. Okay, so anyway, that was the prompt. That's my background screen. That's what I got. All right, so make sure that you are, if you're watching this, that you please like and follow, because, you know, again, we do this for free. We offer this content for free. We offer this training for free. The cost of admission is for you to give us a like. Make sure that if you're watching this, give me a thumbs up, give me a fire emoji, give me, a heart. If you're watching this on TikTok, you can give me coins, roses, just no eggplants, no peachy emojis, and no sploosh emojis, no water emojis, right? My wife knows what that stuff means. She understands what it means. So give me a like, give us a follow, give us a fan. And more importantly, share the content. So if you know of anybody that can benefit from what it is that we're sharing and the stuff that we're going over, please share it with them. There's a bunch of other lost sheep. Am I taking it too far now? There's a bunch of other people out there that can benefit from this content. There's good content. There's great content out there. And there's some people that can relate with my style of presenting the content that's already out there. And there's some people that, may not like all the flash and the pizzazz and all the other stuff that exists out there right now. So make sure that you share this content with them, especially because there is value in what we're sharing, okay? Also, give us a follow on all our social media. We are at Dispo Dragons, plural, at Dispo Dragons. I already shared this quote, but I'll share it again. You can't expect $1 million results with a minimum wage output, right? Minimum wage effort. So if you are the last person to come into work and the first person to leave work, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to come home from your 9 to 5 to work on your dream, if you're not the person that's going to be willing to commit to something long after the initial mood that you set it in has left you, if you are the type of person that counts the minutes that something takes you as opposed to counting the benefits that could come from the minutes that you invest, then you are not going to have success in this business, business. And the truth is, you're probably not going to have success in almost anything. As we all know, that anything that is worthwhile is going to require effort. It is going to require time. Everything is fun in the beginning until you realize the actual effort and the work that it is going to require. We've all gone through this. Sports, it's fun in the beginning when you're learning, but then when you really want to become proficient at it, it's difficult. Playing a musical instrument, art, dancing, singing, work, engineering, coding, whatever it might be, you already know that it takes effort. This business is no different, okay? So don't expect, $1 million results from part-time effort. For those of you who don't know, I wrote a book. The name of the book is Deal Like a Dove. And the reason that we're saying deal like a dove is obviously a dove, Christian reference. Deal like a dove, dispo like a dragon, right? So treat people kindly, and then when you've got those deals, you sell those deals. You dispo them out, okay? Now, if you don't know, the pendant on top of the book, I borrowed, it pays homage to Deadpool and Wolverine. This book is written in a very comical superhero themed fashion. So we talk about that. I talk about superpowers. I talk about your superpower and what you can do, and how there is a need for what we do and a need for what you have to offer to the market. Trust me, there is a reason that you are watching this. There is a reason that you are learning this. There is a reason that you're dedicating time to this. And we talk about that in this book. Now, this book is 400 pages on how to build this business. I didn't want to minimize it. I didn't want to cut any corners. I wanted to lay it all out there. I don't think that, me just giving you some 20-page blueprint or some 20-page ebook or PDF is going to do this business justice. It's not going to teach you what it is that you need to learn on how to build it. So I wrote this book. I put my heart and soul into it. It took me about a year to get it out there. And so you can find this book using this link, bit.ly/Dispo Dragon book, bit.ly/Dispo Dragon book. It's going to take you to Amazon. Now, it's a redirect link, so when it takes you to Amazon, Amazon might ask you to click and verify that you're actually a human, or click and verify that you want to go to Amazon, whatever. Just go. You can purchase it, and you can buy it in 3 different formats. You can get it in the paperback version, you can get it in the Kindle version, and you can also get it on Audible so that you can listen to it in the car. Now, I'm going to save you $10 though. If you click on this QR code, or excuse me, scan, did I say click? I meant scan. If you scan this QR code, and now guess what? There are apps that will actually scan directly from your phone, so they'll scan the screen for you. No need to screenshot, then go back, open the app, and then it'll do it from your phone. You can use a QR code. It'll save you $10. You can get it directly from us as opposed to getting it from Amazon. When you do that, I will give you an author's copy. I'll sign it, write you a cute little motivational note, whatever I'm thinking about during the day, and then I'll send it out to you. You'll save yourself $10, okay? And you use that QR code. What you're looking at is a photograph of Jay-Z hugging Warren Buffett. Jay-Z had aspirations of becoming a billionaire. Him just being a 100-millionaire wasn't enough. Him being a wildly success story wasn't enough. What he wanted to do was not only become a billionaire, but he wanted to be able to mentor and create his own team, his own family, his own home of billionaires. And so he went to Warren Buffett and he basically said, mentor me, educate me, show me how to do it. And as the story goes, he was able to duplicate himself. So now he is a multi-billionaire, and not only is he a multi-billionaire, but he has mentored other billionaires, including Rihanna. Should we give LeBron the credit? I don't know. Jay-Z mentions LeBron as being part of the Rock House. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to debate that. The point is he's mentored other billionaires, and he's a success story, okay? And, Beyonce and herself is also, if she's not already, she's very close to becoming a billionaire too. So why am I sharing this with you? Because what we have is a profit-sharing mentorship within our organization as well. It is probably, in my opinion, it's the most affordable way to actually have a mentor, somebody who is going to walk you step by step on how to build this business. And the reason that they're willing to do that, and the reason that they're willing to take time out of their day, is because they get a percentage of the profits. Point blank, okay? That's the way it works. Now, you can try. You can try to figure this out on your own. You can try to go on all the Reddit subs and all the Facebook groups and all the Discord groups, and you can continue to ask for free advice. Oh, and by the way, some of those people on those boards and those subs and on those Discord groups, they're not that nice. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, right? Some of them are downright cruel, and they're just going to tell you to go watch the videos. Go watch the videos, learn it, figure it out on yourself, right? A lot of them. Now, the point here is that you can do that on your own, or you can find a mentor who has an incentive to help you because they know that they are going to get a percentage of the profits, right? You learn while you earn. You're still going to get paid a percentage of the profits, but now you got somebody that's going to help you do the heavy lifting. Now you got somebody that's going to get on the phone with your leads. They're going to close your leads. They're going to help you fill out contracts. They're going to show you how to market the property. They're going to show you how to dispo the property, which is what we do. We dispo the property. So we're going to teach you how to do that as well. And their mentor has an incentive to be there to help you and to guide you because they are going to be compensated as well, as opposed to you thinking that you can just keep asking people for free and then getting frustrated wondering, well, this person said they were going to help me and now they're not helping. Of course they're not helping you because there isn't a real incentive for them. There is only so much that someone can do for free before it starts to impede on their 4Fs. What are the 4Fs? Their faith, their family, their fitness, and their finances. Right? If you're going to distract them from those 4 things, then there has to be something that they're going to receive in return. They can only do so much, and there's only so many hours in the day, right? So visit start.dispodragons.com, start.dispodragons.com to learn more about our profit sharing mentorship. Now, we got an announcement next Saturday on August 23rd. Saturday, August 23rd, we have a 5-hour virtual boot camp. We're calling it the Deal Domination Boot Camp, where we are going to teach you the behind the scenes stuff. We're going to turn back the curtains, peel back the curtains, pull away the curtains. We're going to show you what's behind the curtains. You're going to learn about all the low-level stuff, but all the high-level stuff that people aren't sharing on YouTube, on TikTok, on Discord. Sure. There's surface-level stuff for sure. There's plenty of surface-level stuff. But do you really think they're sharing everything that is going on behind the scenes? Are they really? Are they? Or are most people just showing their highlight reels, right? Think about it, right? What are they really? Look, we're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to peel back the curtains. We're going to show you everything you need to know on how to really build this business. Low level, high level stuff. Cradle to grave. A to Z, right? How to build a business so that you're not just a solopreneur. You're going to build something that works and operates with you when you are around and when you are not around. How do you hire VAs? How do you train VAs? VAs being virtual assistants. What tasks can you delegate? What tasks should you not delegate? Personally, everything is delegatable. You just have to learn how to do it, okay? And we're going to cover that. So Saturday, August 23rd, 10:30 a.m. We will end Eastern Standard Time, so that's 7:30 a.m. for you West Coasters. And we'll end at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 hours, 2 half-hour breaks. But the best part is we have some great sponsors, and this is going to be a live training. We're going to cut this off after 25 people. There's only a few more spots left. I want this to be more of an intimate training. This isn't something I'm just going to post on YouTube. I'm not going to share this and make it open to everybody, okay? So we have Tax Pro Solutions, who is going to be their sponsor, and they're going to be giving away one free business formation kit, meaning somebody who's going to walk away, they're going to win a business formation kit, either in the form of an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp, however it is that you want to structure it. You talk to Tax Pro Solutions. They will do everything you need to have your business incorporated, all right, and running as a full-fledged business that is valued at over $2,500. Somebody's going to win that on Saturday. In addition to that, we have Prime Tracers, who is a sponsor as well, and they're going to be giving every single person that comes 100 free credits on their platform. And today I was doing a webinar with the some of their co-founders and the people who are in chief positions within Prime Tracing, including Steven. And I got to tell you that what they showed me was very, very impressive. And they have something called a dynamic search, which basically means that their data is updated in real time as people are changing and updating their telephone numbers and their email addresses, which makes their data even more valuable. You're going to get 100 free credits just for participating in this training courtesy of Prime Tracers. Now, we also have, and I'm talking to somebody very, very big. Their name, it starts just like with ours. It starts with Dispo, and then there's a G at the end of it. I can't announce it quite yet, but they're also going to be participating and sharing what it is that they have to offer on Saturday. Okay, those are going to be some of our sponsors. So to be able to participate in this training, you got to go to dispodragons.com. Now, right now, every page is just redirecting it to dispodragons.com. So you can go to dispodragons.com. Our pre-registration has already ended. It ended on the 10th. Okay, so go to dispodragons.com. You can visit it right now. There's only a few slots left. So please, it's going to, I'm not allowing everybody in, and this isn't something that I'm going to be live streaming. Okay, I want people to really appreciate the value in what they are going to learn that day, and appreciate the value behind what our sponsors are giving them as well. Okay, just a few left, so make sure you register. You can click on the QR code there, and that should get you there as well. Go to dispodragons.com. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to deal with it. It should have shown me our first slide, which was this one. Okay, what do you do when people are poo-pooing on your deal? Okay, when buyers are poo-pooing on your deal, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. You know what the poop emoji means. But when people are shooting down your deal, okay, when people are pooping on your deal, when they're poo-pooing your deal, what do you do? How do you handle it? Okay, let's talk about that. Number one, the best defense is an offense. Okay, what does that mean? Well, the best way to handle and the best way to avoid people poo-pooing on your deal is making sure that you handle it correctly on the front end. And what that means is that you are going to have to get better at comping. You're going to have to get better at negotiating. You're going to have to get better at understanding the ideal, the best structure for that particular deal. If you aren't proficient at comping, if you aren't proficient at negotiating, if you aren't proficient at identifying which is the best exit strategy for that deal, then you're going to need to find a mentor. You're going to need to find a JV partner. You're going to need to, you should sign up for the profit sharing. You should sign up for our deal domination workshop on the 23rd. You should pick up a deal like a dove, dispo like a dragon, but you're going to need something. If you don't know how to comp, negotiate, and identify the best exit strategy, then you're going to have problems. Okay, the best defense is going to be an offense, and that means that you take care of this on the front end. The better that you are at those things, the less likely you're going to have people poo-pooing on your deal, right? So number one, make sure that you're proficient at that. Now let's say that, hey Paul, I've been doing this a while. I'm pretty proficient at it. I'm pretty proficient at negotiating. I'm pretty proficient at comping. I'm pretty proficient at identifying which is the best exit strategy, meaning it's not cash, it could be creative. If it's not creative, maybe it's seller finance. There's a variety of different exit strategies, right? Airbnb, co-living, pad splitting, fracture, whatever it is that you want to use. The point is, you're good at that. There's still the possibility that you're going to get investors and buyers, assignees, they all mean the same thing, that are still going to talk poop about your deal. So you need to know your numbers inside and out. You need to know your ARVs. You need to know your repair estimates. You need to know what your maximum allowable offer is. You need to know how to use tools like our Dispo Dragons deal calculator, so that way you know that you can get your end buyer a minimum of 15% return on their investment. That's exactly what our calculator calculates. You just plug in the repairs, the ARV, how much you want to make in the form of a fee, and your maximum allowable offer, and it will tell you what you need, where you need to be at in order to get the end buyer their 15% return, their cash on cash return. So you need to know these numbers inside and out. Just like I said, the best offense is a good, best defense is a good offense. Okay. Now, another thing that we want to talk about, you want to avoid people poo-pooing on your deal. Start using the street view. Now, for those of you who are working in an area where you are fortunate enough to be able to go visit the properties that are in your backyard, and you can go physically see them, and you can touch them, and you can walk inside, and you can see exactly what's going on, and you can walk the streets, and you can see, if there's riffraff on the streets, you can see if there's a liquor store on the corner, you can see when there's a commercial oil drill right across the street, when you can, or train tracks, when you can see all that personally, then great. That you can't beat that. But what if you're doing this business virtually and you're working in another market? I cannot tell you the number of times that I've had to go in and help people restructure deals, and they haven't even done a Google Street Map look. So they haven't gone in there and they haven't taken a look at what the street, the actual street, looks like for that property. So they haven't gone a few up, and they haven't gone down, and they haven't taken a look at the neighbors. They didn't realize that the house was sitting right next to a 20-unit apartment building. They didn't realize that there was a frat right next door to it. They didn't realize that there was a mechanic shop right across the street from it. They didn't know any of these things because they didn't just take the time to hop onto Google Street View, Google Street Maps, Bing Maps, Apple Maps, whatever you want to do, Street View. The point is, you didn't take the time to go out there and just do a quick scan of the area so you know what you're dealing with. Believe it or not, that's huge. I don't know any real estate investor that is purchasing a property virtually without going over to that property physically themselves that doesn't do some type of a street view. So again, the best defense is your offense. Handle this first. Go to Google Street Maps. Take a look at what's around it so that you know, because the investors are going to bring these things up anyway, okay? Uncover the ugly truth first. All right. So what does that mean? Well, this is during your negotiations. When you come across these things, when you are buying these properties virtually, when you are negotiating with these properties virtually, when you are getting these properties under contract virtually, and you've done your due diligence and you've done your street view, walkthrough, and you've seen all the things around it, make sure that you acknowledge that and you bring that to the attention of the seller. I am so crazy that there are times where I will even look up crime reports, crime spotters, and I will see the level of crime in the area, and I will tell them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, listen, I heard that less than a block away, unfortunately, there was a shooting. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I heard that around the corner there was a robbery, and then I might even send them the link. You can find the link in the local paper here, and I will let them know about that stuff, okay? This is all intel. This is all information that you are going to use so that way you negotiate properly, because guess what? The investors are going to do the exact same thing. So if you don't want them shooting your deal down, if you don't want them poo-pooing all over your deal, then you're going to make sure that you check the Google Street View. You're going to check the crime reports. You're going to use all of that stuff to negotiate the right price, because you guess what? You know that the investors that are looking at your opportunity, at your deal, at your equitable interest, at your assignment, they're going to be doing the exact same thing. You're going to have some mental toughness. Okay, this is, look, just wake up. Realize that. All right, you're going to get people that are going to poo-poo on your deal no matter what. It is what it is. They're going to say some negative things about your deal. Why? Because they want to try to shake you up a little bit, because they want to try to use that as leverage so that they can negotiate a better price. You're going to have to get a little bit more thick-skinned. So you're going to get sellers that are going to tell you that you're making your offers too low, that you're a low baller, that you're an equity thief, that you're a criminal, that how dare you make that type of an offer, what were you thinking? You're going to hear all types of outlandish things. And then you're going to have buyers that are going to say, what are you? Are you stupid? Don't you know the numbers? How could you think this was a good deal? What are you even, why would you even ask that price? Which then begs to reason, why are they even contacting you about the property if it's so outlandish and so crazy, right? Why would they even express any interest? Anyway, you're going to get attacked from both sides. That's just the way it is. You're going to have to develop a certain thickness in your skin so that you're going to be able to deal with the mental toughness that comes with this business. But let's be real. Life is tough anyway. So whether you get made fun of here, you're going to get made fun of somewhere, whether it be in any other profession, right? There's always going to be a certain degree of mental toughness that you're going to have. Oh, and then once you get into the profession, then you're going to have to deal with the stress that comes with any profession. You're going to have mental toughness. So you might as well just deal with it here, okay? Prepare for the poker face. Okay, I just noticed that on Instagram oh, cool. So we're good on Instagram again. Prepare for the poker face. What is the poker face? The poker face is buyers telling you that they're not interested, or they're not going to buy it at that price, or they're going to play it cool, or they're going to act like they're not interested and not for me. I just told you. Then if they weren't interested, then why did they call you? If they weren't interested, then why did they reach out to you? If it didn't make sense, if the numbers were so outlandish and ridiculous, then why did they text you? Why did they express interest, right? Look, there's obviously a certain degree of interest here. Just understand that them playing the poker face, them acting disinterested, it's just part of the dance, right? This is just a dance, and it's just part of the dance. And you are the pretty girl at the dance. You are the handsome prince at the dance. You're the person at the dance, right? And they're gonna act cool. Okay, that's just the way it is. Be prepared for it. So you got to have thick skin, right? And you got to be prepared for the fact that they're gonna play it cool. Now, they're going to poo-poo on your deal. They're going to shoot your deal down. Why are they going to do that? Because, again, they think that they can use that as leverage. And so if they tell you all the negative things about your property, then they are hoping, they are assuming, they want to think that that is going to get you to crack so that you can accept a lower price on the deal, on the assignment, on your opportunity, on your equitable interest. And you'll hear me rotate words all the time, and the reason that I do that is so that you can get used to those words, because those words all mean pretty much the same thing. Okay, so they're going to poo-poo on your deal. They're going to tell you about the repairs. They're going to tell you about the neighborhood. They're going to tell you about the crime. They're going to tell you about another sale that just happened around the corner for like $50,000 less. I mean, it just sold, right? And sometimes they're right. Doesn't matter, right? You just stick to your guns, okay? So be prepared. They're going to poo-poo your deal. Your feelings don't matter. The numbers do. Okay, this is also very important. So when they start giving you these stats and they start telling you about the other properties that have sold around the corner for less or more or for whatever, all just taking into account all the repairs that need to be done, and how their estimate is, $75,000 over your estimate of $25,000 to repair this property. They're gonna give you all of these details. Understand that they're not doing this necessarily to hurt your feelings. They are doing this to use it as a negotiating tactic to be able to get the best price that they possibly can as real estate investors. Don't take it personal. It's just part of the process. It's part of the dance. It's part of the courtship, right? This is what they're going to do. So once you understand that, you don't take it so personal when they start telling you all the negative things about your opportunity, about your deal. You don't take it so personal. You just understand that it's part of what they're going to do, all right? It's just numbers, and it's just numbers to them. Now, one person's opinion is just that. So I love this quote: don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because one person tells you that the property isn't worth what you're asking, or that your ARV is incorrect, or that your estimate of repairs is incorrect, or because they don't think that your margin of profit is what they believe it's going to be, just because it's one person's opinion doesn't mean that the rest of the buyers are going to feel the exact same way. That is one person's opinion, just an opinion. It is not fact, and there are plenty of times where we have reached out to other people about our equitable interest, our assignment of contract, our deal, our opportunity, and they have poo-pooed all over it. They have shot it down all over it, okay? All over the deal. They shot it down all over, okay? They got Hershey syrup all over it, all right? So here's the thing. Don't take it personal. And for those of you who are watching, some of my social media, other social media, teachers, gurus, experts, influencers, TikTokers, Discorders, Redditors, all those people that are out there doing what I do, and they're saying, bring me opportunities, bring me deals, I'll buy your deals, and then you go and you bring them a deal, and then you get an email from one of their virtual assistants because they're too busy to respond, and then they reply back and they say, no, this deal is not something that we're interested in, and then you get discouraged because you've seen all the videos where they're saying, I'll buy your deal and I'll pay you $15,000 for it, bring me the deal, and then you bring them the deal and nothing ends up happening. So you get discouraged, and then you stop promoting it, you don't talk to anybody else about it. Okay, that's another thing that's happened. It's happened to me, it's going to happen to you, and we all fall for that, and sometimes those deals do sell. Listen, sometimes they do sell, but here's what's happening. When you are an influencer and you have an audience and you're talking to hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people about what we do, and you're saying, bring me a deal, and you've got all these people bringing you deals, guess what? Those influencers, and I'm guilty of the same thing, they have the opportunity to cherry pick which deals they want, which means that the vast majority are probably going to be rejected. Does that mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater? No. What that means is that that's just one person's opinion. That deal's just not for them. There's a buyer for everything. Investors come in all different sizes, ages, races, colors, languages, and one person's buy box doesn't mean that another person won't buy it, okay? Now, we're going to talk about feedback, though, because this is also important. The rule of 3 or more. What does this mean? If you got one person that says that your deal is horrible, and they're shooting your deal down, and they're poo-pooing all over your deal. If you got one person, that's fine, right? It's opinion. But when you've got 2, 3, or 4 people telling you the exact same thing, then what you're going to have to do is understand that you're getting feedback now. Okay, the market is speaking to you. The market is telling you. If you got 3 or 4 people saying the exact same thing, then there's a chance that you may have missed something. Maybe your ARV was too high. Maybe your repairs were too high, right? So you're going to have to either adjust, right? And by adjust, that means you may have to restructure the deal. That means you may have to go and talk to the seller and try to get a price reduction. That means you may have to go back to the seller and try to convert it from an all-cash deal to a novation, to a seller finance, to a sub-2. These are all different strategies that you can use, but you're going to need that feedback. So don't take one person's opinion as fact. But when you've got 3 or 4 or 5 other people saying the exact same thing, don't take that personal. Use that as feedback to go back and then restructure your deal. Okay? Now, it's not for me, it's not for, if it's not for me versus it's not for someone else, okay? So I just talked about this. There's different buyers for every deal, for every opportunity, for every equitable interest, for every assignment of contract, for every deal, okay? There's different buyers. Don't worry about it, okay? But when you're hearing it multiple times, right, said differently and in different ways, then you're probably going to have to restructure. Okay, we're getting close to finishing here, but what's the other option? If you have a buyer that is interested in the property and they come back and they give you a price on the property and you know that it's too low, and the buyer says, this is my best and final offer, this is the best that I'm going to give, this is my price, take it or leave it, right? Well, this is where newer people start to shake in their boots, and this is where newer people start to buckle, and this is where they start to give in. Here's the deal. Just because a buyer says this is my best and final price does not necessarily mean that it's their best and final price, and doesn't necessarily mean that you can't counter them. Don't let them take away that power that you have. You can counter anything, as ridiculous as it might sound. You can counter them, and who cares, right? You have that ability. But there are plenty of times where I see people, they start to get so scared about countering a buyer, and not only just buyers, the same thing applies to sellers. When a seller says, look, that's my best price, that's as low as I'm going to go, some people take that as fact. Counter them again. But Paul, I've already countered. We've countered like 2 or 3 times. Counter them again. And then counter them again, and then counter them again, and counter them again until the deal is dead, right? That's your strategy. You will continue to counter until that buyer says, I'm walking away, or until that seller says, I reject your offer, we're not talking anymore, and they hang up the phone with you, right? That's it. Those are your only options. You keep countering until either you get your price, or the buyer gets their price, or the seller, or you guys come to an agreement. Okay, that's it. You just keep countering. Your countering is one of your superpowers. Your ability to counter is also your ability to negotiate, and that's one of your secret weapons on your bat belt. So use it. Okay, don't be afraid to counter. I see people who want to just accept people's offer. Sometimes they want to accept their offer on the first one. Counter anyway. Even if the offer is great, even if the seller's price is fantastic, even if the seller says, I want 110, and you know that your maximum allowable offer is 88, excuse me, 120, let's say, and they want 110. I did it backwards. Rewind. Let's go back for editing purposes because someone's going to help me edit this later on. Okay, so you have a seller that wants 110. You know that your maximum allowable offer is 120. Based on that number, you know that you can get your investor, your end buyer, your assignee a minimum of 15% cash on cash return. You know the numbers work at 120 beyond a shadow of a doubt, and the seller wants 110. They're telling you, give me one, counter them anyway. If that's their first thought, you counter them anyway. Well, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, as much as I'd like to give you that 110, I think I'm going to have to go with 108. Can we do 108? 108. I'm not saying gouge them. I'm saying counter them again. Because if you make that seller feel like they got it too easy, well, then guess what? Later on, what's going to happen is they're going to come back and they're going to have some seller's remorse and they're going to think that maybe they just gave it away. Okay, so counter. Countering is your superpower. Counter a buyer. Even if they give you a best and final, you counter them again. All right? Get them inside the property. So when you got a investor who is on the phone with you and they're your end buyer and they're considering your deal, your opportunity, your equitable interest, your assignment of contract, and they're considering this, you need to get them in the property. Get them in the property. I don't care if they give you full price. Get them in the property. I don't care if they say, I want this property beyond a shadow of a doubt. This is the one for me. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to sell it for a profit. You are amazing. Just the fact that you got this opportunity for me is unbelievable. I've been praying for this opportunity all my life. This is the one that I dream about. I don't care. Get them in the property. You're not going to accept the offer right then and there. Get them in the property. Now, that might sound contradictory to what you've been told or what you might think, but listen, even if they deposit the money and you get the contract signed and then they get in the property and they decide that they want to change or renegotiate the terms, what good is it? You're going to have to release a deposit anyway, right? Get them in the property. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I appreciate you letting me know how interested you are in the property. Look, I am excited to be working with you. I just need to make sure that I get you in the property before we get anything under contract right now. So when can you go? Can you go tonight, or do you think tomorrow morning is better for you? That's called the alternative of choice clause. Give them choices. Tonight or tomorrow morning, which do you prefer? Afternoon? Great. 1 or 3 o'clock? Great. 3 o'clock. Perfect. That's it. Alternative choice. So get them in the property, okay? Trust me on this one. Don't waste your energy fighting. Okay, when someone is poo-pooing on your deal, when somebody is shooting your deal down on your deal, okay, you're not going to get into a fight with them. We're not going to get into debates, right? I have a saying, I don't argue with crazy, okay? I just don't. There's no need for me to do that. You don't believe it's worth that? That's fair. That's great. You win. You be right. No problem. You think my opportunity sucks? No problem. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me that on Facebook. Thank you for telling me that on Reddit. Thank you for texting me that. Thank you for emailing me that. Thank you for calling and verbally telling me that. I appreciate it. You had to go through all those measures just to let me know how bad my deal sucked, which secretly means you're either a stalker or you want it, right? I'm not going to fight with you. I just won't. Okay? Don't waste energy fighting with people who are going to tell you that your deal sucks. Okay? There's going to be people that are going to do that anyway. There's a buyer for everything. I've already gone over this, but every buyer has different risk thresholds. Some will actually buy an opportunity with a 10% cash on cash return. Some will not touch a deal unless they get a 30% cash on cash return. Every buyer is different. So don't take offense to when one buyer tells you what their standards are, what their buy box is. We're not going to take offense to that. You're just going to learn from that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to build your buyers list. This is another mistake that I see people make. So when somebody calls them and they're poo-pooing, they're shooting their deal down, and they're doing all of that negative talk about their deal, then they get offended. They tell the buyer, how they're really feeling, and then they hang up on them. I don't need to waste my time. As opposed to using it as an opportunity to turn it around. Yeah, so maybe they're being a jerk and they're telling you how bad your deal is or how wrong your numbers are or how off you are on your calculations. Yeah, maybe they're insulting you a little bit. But what if they are legitimate buyers? That property just doesn't fit their buy box, right? Get their contact information, get their buy box, find out how quickly they're ready to move, find out how quickly they're ready to do their next project, investigate them a little bit, vet them a little bit, interview them a little bit, and then get their contact information. You need their name, their phone number, their email, and their mobile so that you can text them. So that the next time you get an opportunity in that area that does fit their buy box, you can shoot it over to them. Don't use somebody calling you and poo-pooing your deal. Don't use that as an opportunity to not build your buyer's list. Turn it into something positive. Get that buyer's list and then continue to market to them as you get additional opportunities, assignments, deals, equitable interests in their backyard. Loyalty is to the deal. Okay, this is important too. So one thing that I like to do, and I'm sure that you've heard other people say this, is that when you have buyers that are interested in the property, you are going to invite all interested parties to go take a look at the property at one time. You're going to double, triple, quadruple book. You want to get them all there at one time. The reason that you want to do that is because, number one, people will always flake. There's always going to be a certain flake factor, and if you don't know what flake means, that means you're just not going to show up. They're going to be no-shows. So they don't show up. Okay, there's always going to be that percentage that don't show. And in addition to that, when you get those buyers there and they see that there's other buyers that are competing for this property, what it does is it creates FOMO, right? FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, so you do that intentionally. Now, if it's an on-market deal that you are marketing, you're going to have to, make sure that you've done your job right and that you've prepped the agent of what your exit strategy is. If it's a direct-to-seller strategy, then chances are you've done your job and you've told the seller that, look, I am looking for my buyer starting yesterday. Starting yesterday, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I'm looking for my buyer, okay? So if I have buyers here, I just want you to be prepared that I'm already looking for who my end buyer is, because you know I'm an investor and you know that I'm looking to purchase this property, and I'm either going to find my end buyer now, after the close. But either way, I'm going to find my buyer. So you need to prep them for that. And the reason that I say loyalty is to the deal is because there are some people that are going to say, well, Paul, I have 3 or 4 buyers over there. Aren't they going to be like, well, who gets the deal? Look, whoever makes the best offer is the one that gets the deal. Your loyalty is to the deal, because let's be real here. That buyer isn't necessarily loyal to you as a real estate investor who wholesales. That buyer is not necessarily loyal to you as a wholesaler. Okay. If somebody else had brought them the deal, they would be working with that person. So whoever brings you, let the best man or woman win. Right? Just make your best offer, and then you select the best offer. That's the way it is, okay? I will put an asterisk to what I just said. I do have a caveat. There are going to be those of you, as you get better at this business, you are going to have what you will consider your VIP buyers lists, okay? Now, these buyers, these are the ones who do a considerable amount of business in the area that you are focused on. These are the buyers that you have vetted. These are the buyers that you have a history with. These are the buyers that you have worked with before in the past. There are plenty of us in this business that when we've curated our VIP buyers list, we give them first dibs to go visit our opportunities, our deals, our assignment of contracts, our equitable interest. Those are the people that we give the first opportunities to when they are a VIP buyer. If you don't have a VIP buyers list, or you're operating in a market virtually where you haven't really developed a buyers list, then this is where this would apply, and I would suggest that you triple, quadruple, quintuple book. I don't know if I used the 5-1 right. Okay, loyalty to the deal. Prepare the seller. We already talked about that. You got to prep the seller for when you're going to do something like this. Otherwise, they're going to wonder what is going on when they see a parade of people. Hopefully, I've made you a little bit more confident about what it is that you're doing, okay? Because people are going to poo-poo on your deal. They're going to shoot your deal down. They're going to shoot all over it, okay? That's just part of the business. Keep in mind that it's not personal, and it's not fact. Okay, it's opinion. And for every buyer that says that you have a poo-poo-y deal, there's other buyers that could potentially purchase it. Use their information as feedback so that you can restructure the deal if necessary. Use the people that contact you as an opportunity to build your buyers list so that you can go back and contact them. Build your VIP buyers list so that you can give them first dibs on the opportunities that you locate. Okay. Make sure that you like and follow us. Hopefully, you saw value in the information that we're sharing. Look, there's a lot of people out there that share similar content to what it is that I do. They have their style. I have my style. I like using slides. This is how I do it. They have their way of doing it. And, God bless them all. I appreciate you watching the way that I present it. So please do me a favor, just as a courtesy, give me a like and give me a follow. And lastly, I know that you know that there are people that can benefit from the content. I know you know them. Do me a favor, share the content with them, right? There's no cost here for this stuff, but the cost of admission is for you to share this content with them. So please make sure that you do that. Participate in the conversation. Comment below. If you have any questions about what it is that we're doing or any questions about the stuff that we offer as an organization, feel free to comment. I'll do my best to reply. And make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms, right? Our handle is @DispoDragons, plural, DispoDragonsPlural.com. And don't forget August 23rd, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Deal Domination Bootcamp. It's not going to be the YouTube stuff. It's not going to be that surface level stuff. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be we're going to teach you how to crawl and then sprint. So crawl, walk, run, sprint. We're going to peel the curtain back. You're going to see all the high level stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Some of it you're going to want to know about it, and some of it, you're going to be like, "Whoa, I didn't realize that this is how they were doing it." And we're going to show it to you. We've got some great sponsors. Remember that one person's going to walk away with a business formation kit where they're going to be able to get either an LLC or a C corp or an S corp, however they want to do it, valued at over $2,500, sponsored by Tax Pro Solutions. You can visit their website, taxpro.solutions. They'll be there Saturday as well. We'll raffle that off. And lastly, we've got Prime Tracers. Prime Tracers, who is going to be giving every person that participates 100 free credits that they can use on their platform. What impresses me the most about their skip tracing platform and the elite data that they provide is that it's dynamic data. All right. Dynamic data in the sense that it is updated in real time. And there are people, unfortunately, who change their numbers for a variety of different reasons, regularly. Right? Sometimes it's because they're being harassed by cold callers. Sometimes it's because creditors are calling them. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. This data is dynamic. And their emails, the email addresses that they give with that data is already vetted. Okay, I know that other skip tracing companies give email addresses, but there are times where I've even used them and the data's bad, right? And I get a bunch of Google mailer demons, I don't know. Anyway, I get those alerts back saying that the email didn't go through. These email addresses, they vet before they give it to you as a data. So Prime Tracers, Steven's going to be with Saturday on the 23rd. Everybody who participates gets 100 free credits of dynamic data that is updated in real time. The best data out there, okay? Saturday, October 23rd, you can register by just go to DispoDragons.com. DispoDragons.com, and you can register right now. Unfortunately, the pre-registration ended already. It's ended on the 10th. You could have saved $100. But DispoDragons.com, I'll see you there. I will be there as well. I appreciate you joining me. Hopefully, this benefited you and it helped you combat that monkey on your shoulder from when people call you and I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. They shit on your deal. All right? Have a good night, you guys. We'll talk soon.